This man wants to know the truth about his internet girlfriend.
It's like, holy cow. When Jennifer reached out to me, it clicked. Apparently, she likes the way I look. I've been a fan of hers my whole life, so I've always liked the way she looked. I'm a huge fan. Finding my dream girl, is a dream.
She was beautiful and kind and one of the world's most famous women. There was just one problem.
She asked for $6,000 to purchase her wedding gown.
It says her net worth's like $300 million.
Why does she need $6,000?
She says she doesn't trust banks anymore. My house is on the market, so once it sells, I'll have some cash to show that I'm real and actually in love with her.
Join us on another Catfish adventure. We'll find out if Allan is really with his celebrity crush or if it's just another celebrity imposter trying to crush his spirit.
I have cut off all chats with all other women. She has mentioned that we will have a very public wedding. Our exes will both get to see us on national TV getting married, and it'll tick them both off. Before I send $6,000, maybe I can find somebody that can tell me who I'm talking to.
We can definitely do that.
Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Your engagement with our videos help us reach new audiences and can potentially stop other people from being scammed.
Team, we got another case. It's from a man named Allan. He sent us an email. He says, I've seen your videos about Jennifer Aniston scams, but I think there's a chance I am actually chatting with the real Jennifer Aniston. We first connected on Facebook and now we're talking on Telegram. I haven't sent any money, but I do have some questions. I think you guys can get to the truth. Allan.
Hi, my name is Allan. I'm 59 years old and I live in Central Texas in a small town called Burnett. My hobbies are hunting, fishing, swimming, that kind of thing. We lived on a 25-acre ranch in the middle of nowhere, and I had a deer blind and I hunted. I had fun doing it. The biggest buck, it was a 10-point and pretty good sized. After many years of harvesting all my deer, we finally just got kind of tired of eating venison and quit shooting them. I am retired. I was a general contractor. I owned a custom cabinet shop in Austin, had several employees, and we did whole house remodels. After many years, rheumatoid arthritis hit me hard. I'm on full disability with Social Security. When I was 21, I married a 33-year-old, and that lasted for 5 years until I caught her having an affair. And then when I was 27, I got married again. And that lasted for 35 years. And we have 2 sons that are both adults now. And then we adopted the first orphan out of Haiti after the 2010 earthquake, because there were so many orphans now in Haiti because families got killed in that earthquake. And somehow, parents died, but the kids survived. We got told that a lot of the kids would have amputations and all kinds of problems and issues. And we just trusted God and said, okay, sign us up, we'll adopt. And then we just out of the blue got a call from a friend at church, would we accept an infant? And we looked at each other and said, okay, yeah, we will. So he was age 4 months when he got here. He weighed 6 pounds, 3 ounces. He was starving to death as a 4-month-old. And he went straight to Dell Children's Hospital and spent about a week and a half there getting all kinds of treatments and tests and everything taken care of. And he is now 14, but he is with my soon-to-be ex-wife. I thought that my wife was getting help for our 14-year-old son, who has been arrested for family violence 3 times. She took him to Colorado to a home that would accept out-of-control children and counsel them and help them. I thought they were coming back after the training was done, and then all of a sudden I got a letter saying she thought we should file for a divorce. So now we're in that process. She did not give me a reason, and in the letter that said we should file for a legal divorce, it said something along the lines of, so you can live your life how you want to, or something like that. After 35 years of marriage, receiving a letter asking me for a divorce was a big shock and hit me hard. And being Christians, that's not what Christians normally do. I thought about it for quite a while and finally responded. And we decided that we would go into full agreement, pre-court, decide everything between ourselves, not involve lawyers.
With Allan's marriage coming to an end, he decided to try and make a fresh start by dating online.
I didn't start this online stuff until my wife had actually left me and filed for divorce. It had been more than a year since my ex-wife had left. So I had been here alone for more than a year. My first step was reinstalling Facebook. It's not the Facebook of old like it used to be, where it was all friends and family. Now it's all about meeting and dating and that kind of thing. The first one turned out to be a complete and utter fraud. They pretty much took a little bit money from me and then quit responding. About $12,000. Occasionally, they still contact me to ask for more money, and I'm just saying, sorry, I can't, I'm broke, I don't have any money, and then they disappear for a while. It's clear that all they want from me is money. And then the second one, we didn't click. And that's where I encountered Jennifer for the first time. And then when Jennifer reached out to me, it clicked.
After a whole year of being alone, Allan could not believe his luck when he was approached by one of his celebrity crushes, a profile going by the name of Jennifer Aniston.
Apparently, she likes the way I look for some reason, and I've been a fan of hers my whole life. So I've always liked the way she looked. I've been a fan of hers since, the 80s and 90s when Friends was on. I was like, holy cow, I'm a huge fan. Then she had us change over to Telegram for over a year. We talked about everything. She pretty much knows my entire history and story and everything about me. We both talked about loving each other and all that kind of stuff. Just, normal dating kind of conversations. We seem to click. Our conversations seem to be active and good. She usually refers to me as my husband, occasionally as baby, and I call her babe and sweetheart and Jennifer. Finding my dream girl, is a dream.
Allan felt he was the luckiest man in the world. He fell head over heels for one of the world's most successful and desired women. There was just one problem.
About 2 or 3 weeks ago, she claimed that her Telegram got hijacked or hacked and moved us over to Zangi. She's asked me repeatedly not to go back on Facebook because she knows it's a dating app now. I've pretty much stayed off of Facebook out of respect for her. And then now she's asking me to stay off of Telegram because it got hacked.
After nearly a year of chatting every night, Jennifer and Allan's love had blossomed into a talk of marriage, and they had began to make plans for their big day.
Probably about 8 or 9 months, she asked for $6,000 to purchase her wedding gown, and she's telling me that her management team and her uncle and aunt are requiring me to send the money for the wedding gown to show that I'm real and actually in love with her. She wanted me to go to a Bitcoin machine and deposit cash into her Bitcoin account. She says she doesn't trust banks anymore. Right at the moment, I don't have it because I was just defrauded out of $12,000 and I'm still working to get that back. My house is on the market, so once it sells, I'll have some cash, and if I get my money back from the fraud, I'll have some cash. But until one of those two things happens, I can't afford $6,000 right now. I asked to hear her voice one time, and she sent me a small video of just her voice that sounded nothing like Jennifer Aniston. Voice didn't sound right. And she claimed it's because her phone has a bad speaker or bad microphone or something. We all know that Jennifer owns multiple mansions in California. I mean, you can Google her name and it'll show you right where her house is and pictures of her house and all that. Her main living area is a $21 million mansion that she lives in. And this person I'm chatting with is telling me that she lives in an apartment that her uncle and aunt purchased for us to live in. And that just doesn't make sense in my mind. You got multiple houses in LA and San Francisco and around California. Why is family buying you an apartment for you and somebody you're in love with to live in? Both of her parents are deceased, and that's why her family is now her uncle and aunt. I looked into it briefly and it seemed real. I'm a fan of the TV show Catfish. I know how to reverse search. I have reverse searched every single photo she has sent me. The vast majority are from social media. Anybody can copy and paste those. There's been 2 to 3, maybe 4 that are not coming back as a match to anything online. So that gives me just a little glimmer of hope.
Jennifer Aniston was madly in love with Allan, but because of her status, she asked Allan to keep their love a secret in order to help protect their privacy.
I have mentioned that I've been talking to someone famous, and that's all I've said. Jennifer has asked me repeatedly to keep her name out of it. Everybody's like, okay, my sister, who is a little bit older than I am, and her husband is the county judge. She told me to be very careful because there's lots of fraud and scams out there. And I just let it go, trying to figure out, what am I dealing with here? I don't want to slam the door prematurely. I am 60% that she's real and 40% that she's not. So I'm 60-40. I'm slightly more towards the real than I am towards the fake. I hope as we go through this process, in the outside chance that I'm actually chatting with the real Jennifer, that we don't tick her off and I lose her because of this. And I have cut off all chats with all other women. She has mentioned that we will have a very public, large wedding, and that our exes will both get to see us on national TV getting married, and it'll tick them both off. It would just warm my heart and make me feel wonderful.
All right, Seekers, we had to get to the bottom of this. A few days later, Brienne, David, and I sat down to gather the evidence.
Why does he think he's talking to her?
Well, because he watched our other videos, and somehow, some way, these videos validated that he is talking to the real Jennifer Aniston.
So he's watching our YouTube videos and he's like, aha, that's why I'm talking to the real Jennifer Aniston.
Yes.
Help me understand that.
Reading the email, it doesn't show any flashes of why he believes it, so I'm interested to find out.
So what do we have to work with?
He said he received images of Jennifer and he even heard her voice. They met on Facebook, so he has a profile there. Something interesting though is that he is actually going through a divorce right now. It's supposed to be finalizing soon. And all of a sudden, Jennifer is now asking for $6,000.
Jennifer Aniston is a millionaire.
I just Googled this. It says her net worth's like $300 million.
Why does she need $6,000?
Supposedly they're going to get married and she wants $6,000 for the wedding dress. Another thing we could do, along with the information that he sent over to us, we could send her an IP tracker and just confirm her location.
Obviously we'll go through her social media and then verify that. Any other contact, whether she's communicating via phone or email, we can verify that.
Yeah.
All right.
We've got a game plan.
A few days later, Brienne and I decided to touch bases and discuss developments in Allan's case.
So Brienne, how are we doing on research with Allan?
There are some key details that we need to look into. He mentioned that Jennifer Aniston's aunt and uncle would like to help them buy a new apartment.
I'm sure Jennifer Aniston has several big houses.
I'm sure she does. What I want to do is just do a little bit of digging, see if she's purchased any new homes recently, what her housing situation looks like.
What about the images that he said he ran through the reverse image search?
There are 3 images that he sent us where he is not able to find them at all on social media. He even looked them up himself. He reverse image searched each of them and he feels like this could be real because he can't find the matches to these images anywhere. So what I'd like to do is take these 3 images and run them through our reverse image search tools to see if we can find any matches.
Well, I mean, it sounds like we have everything we need for you and David to sit down and start digging in.
At this point, we're just waiting for the results of the IP tracker, and hopefully Jennifer clicks on the link.
Perfect.
All right, Seekers, you know they weren't gonna make this easy for us. After a few weeks and many unsuccessful attempts to get Jennifer to click on our IP tracker, Bree and David got together to see if they could hatch a plan to make the link irresistible for whoever was behind this Jennifer Aniston profile to click on it.
So do you remember the case with Allan and he thinks he's talking to Jennifer Aniston?
Yeah, Jennifer Aniston, another one.
So we've completed all the research for this case, but I really want to send this person an IP tracker and get them to click on it.
Okay.
So I created a link to this wedding dress website. And the thing is they didn't click on the link. So do you have any ideas? I want to create another link and get them to click on it.
They've been talking about getting married.
Getting married, wedding dresses, wedding destinations, honeymoon.
I mean, we have that map website, right? That we use for the IP tracker.
Yeah.
Why don't we use that site? People talk about wedding destinations all the time. So we'll find a wedding destination, we'll put it in our map website that's the IP tracker,
Okay.
drop that link, and then just be like, what do you think about this destination for where we want to get married, and see what they say.
All right, I'll try it out right now.
Okay.
Okay.
A few days later, we sat down to give Allan the cold hard truth about this profile claiming to be Jennifer Aniston. Stick around until the end. We'll find out if Allan is really dating one of the biggest stars in the world, or if he's just falling for another fantasy dreamt up by a romance scammer. If you're looking to contact us and you think you might need our help finding out who you're communicating with online, or maybe you need help breaking through to a friend or a family member, don't hesitate to reach out to our email, sharemystory@socialcatfish.com. We can help you find the answers you've been looking for.
It's good to see you again, Allan.
I mean, how are you feeling? I mean, leading up to this, I mean, what's going through your mind?
Anxious to see how things go. I think the last time we talked, I told you that I had a few more doubts and kind of went down to about 40-60. And I'd say today I'm at about 50-50.
Why are you teeter-tottering so much?
Just the conversations I'm having with her and that kind of thing.
Does it make you feel good? I mean, having that person to talk to all the time, or?
Yes, absolutely.
And how are you feeling toward like the person you're talking to?
We've connected on so many levels, and I have a, genuine love for her and wanting to meet her and be with her. But like I told you from the beginning, I'd like to know who it is that I'm actually talking to.
So do you think that there's a chance that you're talking to somebody that's not Jennifer Aniston?
I think there's the possibility, because in my research before I met y'all, I can see there's a lot more scams than there are Jennifer Anistons. There's only one of her, and there's plenty of scams out there. So I was just trying to get to the bottom of it before I started sending money.
And what's making you feel like this is real? I mean, what's that 50%?
I think I mentioned to Brianne before that about half the pictures she sent me, I cannot find a match on Google Match at all. And that tells me that perhaps it has to be the real Jennifer, because they're not coming from social media or something like that.
That's because you're using Google Images, Allan. Google Images is not a great tool to find people.
Okay.
It was Jennifer Aniston's birthday 2 days ago. How did that go?
It went pretty well. And I sent you the video of me singing happy birthday to her.
I love you. I love you. I love you. I really want to marry you. I love you. I love you. I love you. That way we can both say I do.
She was a little sad that we weren't together yet, but my house hasn't sold yet. Waiting for that.
So what's stopping her? I mean, this is like one of the richest movie stars, and she can fly on private jets and do all sorts of things. So what's stopping her from coming to visit you?
She wants me to spend $6,000 and send to her for her wedding gown that her family and management are asking her to have me do to prove that I'm real and that I'm interested. And at the moment, I don't have that much money to send available to send to her. And so I'm waiting for my house to sell, and then I will have that much money to send to her. And I was just thinking about it and all the scams out there. And that's why I reached out to y'all. It's like, before I send $6,000,
Right.
maybe I can find somebody that can tell me who I'm talking to.
Well, we can definitely do that. Well, we have a bunch of stuff we're gonna reveal to you today. So we ran all the images, and Brianna and the research team, they were actually able to find matches, for the pictures that we sent. And so if you look, this first picture right here, this is the picture that the person that you're talking to sent you, right? There's this note right here, and if you look, this is the exact same picture, but this is the real picture, Allan. So somebody took that picture, and then they photoshopped this letter to you.
Yep, I had that suspicion. The only thing that made me doubt it is the background is a little different and the clothing is a little different. The hair at the bottom left is also a little different. And that's the only thing that made me think, well, okay, maybe she just happens to look that way most of the time, and maybe it is real.
So if you were to take those pictures, Allan, and you were to superimpose them on top of each other, they would match up perfectly. Yes, there's some small changes in the hair, there's a small change in the background, but look at the lamp in the background. Look how big that lamp is compared to her head. I mean, that's probably like a 6-foot lamp, if you think about like how big that countertop is in the back. I mean, it's literally taller than the counter. So the other thing I'm gonna share with you is the handwriting. And so if you look at the handwriting that is in the original image, it's significantly different than Jennifer Aniston's handwriting. This was a note with her actual handwriting and her signature, and this is what it looks like. It doesn't match at all the handwriting that you were given.
Yep, I see that.
They actually photoshopped it. So now you know where it came from.
When we spoke last about Jennifer Aniston's birthday the other day, you mentioned that she wasn't doing anything. She hadn't mentioned being out and about anywhere. What I did find was a post on her Instagram where she had launched a pop-up in LA with Selena Gomez, and that just happened this past weekend. It was a huge event. Did she not mention to you where she had been within the last week?
No, not at all.
Something that had popped up was the fact that she was getting prepared for her 56th birthday, which was this week. And in preparation of that birthday, she just purchased a $14.8 million mansion in Montecito. Did Jennifer mention anything about this?
No.
What's going through your head right now?
It's looking like y'all are figuring out that I'm talking to a scammer.
Yeah, I mean, that's where it's going. I mean, if you think about the logic too, Allan, the fact that her team wants you to spend $6,000 on a wedding dress, when realistically, if she got married, she'd probably spend $50,000 on a wedding dress, right? I mean, she's buying a $14 million home. And so why would she make, an everyday person like you, like you're a really nice, great person, but why would she make someone like you that $6,000 is a lot of money? It just doesn't make sense, right?
Yep. That's why I reached out to y'all, is to get to the bottom of it.
Do you want to know where this person is?
Sure.
Well, we created the first tracker and she didn't click on the first one. So we had to come up with a game plan to create a new tracker. You mentioned you guys had a conversation about your potential honeymoon and where that would be. So I found a website and I directed the IP tracker link to that website, and this person clicked on it. And they are from Lagos, Nigeria.
Yep, I figured they were from Nigeria. That's where most scammers are out of these days. I've seen that on y'all's videos multiple times.
Now that you know all this information, like, what are the next steps for you?
Well, number one is I'm not sending $6,000.
Okay, that's good. That's a good start.
I suppose that number two, I will share some of this information with the person I'm chatting with and say goodbye. I had noticed in some of the chatting that we've done, quite a few misspellings and that kind of thing. That kind of made me think, somebody as wise and smart as Jennifer Aniston would not be misspelling words like that. They would always spell the word once, O-N-E-S.
I mean, Allan, hindsight's 2020, right? So now looking in
Yep.
hindsight, like, why do you think you fell for this?
Wanting to.
Something you mentioned before was that, you know, Jennifer Aniston was your dream girl, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I've watched the TV show Friends back from the origination of it back in the 80s. Yeah, I got over 200 recordings of the TV show Friends on my DVR.
Oh my
Wow,
goodness.
200?
So you're a hardcore fan. Did you think you fell for this because you just wanted it to believe it so bad?
Yeah, that's part of it. I've seen so many videos and stories about Jennifer Aniston scams. That's why I reached out to y'all, is I want to know what the truth is more than anything else. And finding out that I'm chatting with someone in Nigeria and all that is very helpful and will let me make the right moves henceforth.
Are you going to continue to date online?
Don't know. We'll see how it goes.
So what's the reason why you're ignoring all the red flags? You knew all of them up front.
I guess the best answer would be hope.
You held on to that hope and now you know it's not real. Like, do you feel like brokenhearted? Do you feel like you've broken up with somebody? Like, how are you feeling there?
Not really brokenhearted. I'm a little sad, but, you know, more like, I don't know, like the neighbor's dog died, kind of sad.
Keep in mind that these scammers, they use scripts to talk to you. So everything's scripted.
Mm-hmm.
And so when they're talking to you, you were saying how you connected on this deep level. It's all like fabricated, you know, it's not real.
Yeah.
You know, the things that they tell you and the way that they make you feel, it's scripted to make you feel that way. If you go back to your chats now, I encourage you to relook at them and go back and you'll start seeing that they say nice things to you. And then right after that, they're like, what about the money? What about this? What about that?
I understand completely. And, you know, she didn't demand the money too much. She just said that she couldn't come here on her private jet until I proved to her family and management that I was real. That's why I reached out to you, is because of those red flags. Even though I was 60-40 when I met y'all, y'all are convincing me that it's about 0-100.
You're not going to be able to come to us every time you're talking to someone online. So what are you going to do for yourself when you do see these red flags?
Live and learn. You know, if it's a red flag, I need to pay more attention to it and give it more credit than just writing it off.
And Allan, you seem like such a really nice, like genuine person, like you really do. And I don't think you're gonna have any difficult time whatsoever actually meeting a real person. But you gotta meet them and they have to be willing to meet up for coffee or, you know, lunch or dinner or whatever. None of these fabricated, you know, online people.
You are the last person that we are going to sit down
Yeah, no
for
more
a Jennifer
stories.
Aniston romance scam.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Allan.
We're so glad that we could help you out. We wish you the best of luck. And we're here for you at any time, okay?
All right. Thank y'all.
Okay, bye.
Here we go. If you have been involved in a romance scam, don't forget to report it. It helps get the word out and potentially stops other people from being scammed. Seekers, it's almost time for our weekly live stream. You can find the link to our live stream on our YouTube channel by clicking the live tab and going to our most recent video. See you all there. Thanks for watching. Don't forget, all of our new videos go out every Wednesday. If you like this video, subscribe. And if you want to see more, you should probably click one of these two videos.